guys, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Finally Fall book tag. I was tagged to do this by Celestia, so thank you very much, Celestia, for tagging me. And yeah, I thought this would be the perfect day to do it because it's very chilly today. The leaves are all falling off the trees. Actually, a lot of our leaves have just dropped because we didn't get a lot of rain this year, so the trees often just don't really... They change somewhat and then they just all drop their leaves, which is kind of what happened around here. But the trees in the mountains, a lot of those are starting to change now, so it looks really pretty seeing all the colors in the distance. And I'm also wearing the only sweater I have. I know pink isn't really a fall color, but like it's the only one I have, even though it is a little warm in here to be wearing a sweater, but whatever. Yeah, so we're just gonna get into the tag. The first question is, in fall, the air is crisp and clear. A book with a vivid setting. Most of the time I don't really pay much attention to settings in books. It's usually just there and it really doesn't affect my reading or my like or dislike of books any. But the one that immediately came to mind for this question where I really felt the setting and like I was there and could like sense it all was To Best the Boys by Mary Weber. I've only read this book once, but I really liked it the first time I read it. It's kind of like, it's a fantasy, it's kind of like a fantasy, it's not really a dystopian, it's just a fantasy, but it's very atmospheric. They're on the sea, and I could always just feel like I could, you know, hear the waves, see it, feel the fog when it came in. Every setting that she wrote in this book is very vivid. I felt like I was there, and I don't really get that a lot of books, so yeah. This definitely came to mind when I heard this question. Nature is beautiful, but also dying. A book that is beautifully written, but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. This book sort of has loss and grief in it, but it also is mainly just talking about mental health, and that is Coral by Sarah Ella. This is very beautifully written. The author has a very almost kind of poetic style. But this book does deal with some heavy topics of like suicide, mental illness, depression, anxiety, self-harm, all the things. So definitely look up triggers. The author does have, at the very beginning, the first page, it does have a trigger warning. So you can easily look that up on like the Look Inside feature on Amazon or something if you're concerned about triggers. But yeah, this is beautifully written, but yeah, it deals with a lot of hard topics. Fall is back to school season, a nonfiction book that taught you something new. I don't read a ton of nonfiction, and a lot of it is not really like I'm learning something new. It's kind of like a biography or autobiography type things. But two books did help me with my writing and did teach me some things. And the first one is Fight Right by Carla Hoch. This is definitely a book I learned a lot from, and how to refine and like change up my fight scenes in my books and stuff, how to relate them better and write them more for, you know, a written audience as opposed to, you know, just showing all your right terminology and stuff like that. Just different ways to do it, and yeah, this taught me a lot. The other book, which is in the same vein, is The Writer's Guide to Archery. This definitely taught me a lot about archery that even I wasn't getting from regular teach yourself archery books. So yeah, very practical and very helpful for those scenes in my writing. In order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with the people we love. A fictional family, household, or friend group you'd like to be a part of. I have 3 different books for this of 3 different groups that I would love to be a part of, and the first one is the group in Library Wars. They don't really start out that way, but definitely by the end of the series, they definitely form this solid friendship, teamwork, and just, okay. They form this solid friendship group and this team of just definitely defending all their libraries and the books and just all the crazy things, and they all like balance each other out really well, and yeah, it's just a fun lot, and I would love to hang out with them. The second group is it's the group that it's the group that I affectionately call Yona and her boy band. And that is in the Yona of the Dawn. Yona and Hawk and the 4 Dragon Warriors and Yoon. I would love to join that group. They are so much fun. They just love each other so much. They're a bunch of it's just a bunch of goofs running around together trying to basically, you know, help their kingdom, and it is hilarious, and I love them all so much, and they grow so much throughout the series, and yeah, they're just a solid group, and they would do anything for each other. They would literally die for each other. It's just an amazing group, and I would love to be around them. And the last one is a novel series, and that is the Landell Resistance in the Ileana Chronicles. Yeah, they are just a group of all these different people thrown together trying to fight this evil emperor, and yeah, I love most of them. There's few people in here where I'm just kind of, especially in the beginning, where I'm like, I don't like you. But the main core group that we eventually get throughout the series, they are all fantastic. I would love to hang out with them for a day. Or longer, you know, if possible. The colorful leaves are piling up on the ground, a pile of fall-colored spines. Okay, let's see if I can pick this up without dropping any of them. Okay, these are all just different fall-colored spines I have. I had a few more I could do, but I just decided to do a limited amount since I also want to hold it and not break my wrist. So, here we go. Hopefully the light is not glaring too much. It's glaring a little bit over here. So, yeah, and I'll just show you guys the books in case you're curious and couldn't read the spines, because it's highly possible that glare. First one's the number 15 in the Thoroughbred series, Glorious Triumph. And we have Swift Current, No Chance Meeting, The Golden Braid, Chasing Jupiter, Gold Fever, Beyond the Reflection's Edge, and the Scorpio Races. And yes, there's an ugly sticker on the front of that. I have not figured out a way to get the sticker off and not destroy the dust jacket. If anyone has any advice of how to do that, please leave them in the comments, because I would love to get rid of this. Fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside, a book where somebody is telling a story. This one was really hard to find, mainly because I was trying to think of like a story where it's kind of almost narratively done. The Hobbit did come to mind for this one, but I decided to do a different one, which I did know had like asides from like an omnipotent narrator, and that is Voyage of the Dawn Treader from the Chronicles of Narnia. I'm fairly certain the rest of the series is told in a similar way. I just remember it being strongest in Dawn Treader. I haven't read this series in a long time, so that could be a little fuzzy, but I do remember asides of like, it's like the author is talking to the reader of like making like sarcastic asides of stuff like that, because I remember the one line, it's like the famous line is that his name is used to scrub and he almost deserved it. So yeah, there's just things like that in there, and I do remember that one in particular felt very much like C.S. Lewis himself was telling a story. So yeah, I could be wrong about that. Like I said, I haven't read him in a while, so yeah. The Nights Are Getting Darker, a dark, creepy read. Okay, I went for 2 for this one. I don't generally read really, really creepy books. I do not like creeping myself out, but these 2 do have creep factors. The first one is Ghostly Vendetta by Michelle Israel Harper. This is a prequel to the Candace Marshall Chronicles, and we're dealing with a haunted house with ghosts running around in it, and definitely by the end, it was a little creepy by the end, and it never went into like really, really creepy, like horror movie creepy, but it did have a definite like, okay, we're going like crazy here. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun though, so, and it's not too long or too creepy, so yeah, even if you don't really like creepy, I think that one would be okay. And the other one, this one isn't so much creepy as the situation is not really creepy either, because the whole book isn't creepy, but by the time you get to the end, like the climax part, that is like, okay, everyone needs to get out of here, this dude is insane, and that is Guilt Hollow by Lori Langdon. I know I've been talking about this book a lot recently. It's a young adult thriller, and yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on, but definitely by the end I was like, okay, you guys need, like, telling the characters, get away from this dude, because he is a psychopath, and he is probably gonna kill you. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. What's the next question? The Days Are Getting Colder. A short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day. This one was hard, mainly because my idea of a comforting read that I find cozy is an epic fantasy where everybody's fighting, bleeding, and dying. So I'm not necessarily the best one for cozy comfort reads, mainly because I've tried a few. I even have tried a few this year, and I generally don't like them. So yeah, I'm probably not the best person to come to if you want a cozy comforting read, because I'll suggest something to you where there's like torture and bloodshed. So yeah, but I do have one genre that kind of falls into this category, and that is fairy tale retellings. So I decided to pick The White Slipper by Brittany Fisher. There's no torture, there's no dying, there's no bleeding, there's nothing like that in this book. So if you're worried about that, there is nothing in this one. It's a sweet romance, and I just really, really enjoy it. This one is like one of my favorites of her books, if not my current favorite, top favorite of hers. And all of her books I've either rated 4 or 5 stars, so that's a little hard to judge. But yeah, I really enjoy this one, and I would think it's very short. You could easily read it in an evening, and I think a lot of people will find it very heartwarming. So, fall returns every year. An old favorite that you'd like to return to soon. There's many books I would love to return to. At one point or another, I've actually been on some sort of a strange rereading binge this year. Yeah, it's kind of weird. And I didn't plan for it, but I really enjoyed it, and I really want to continue it. 2 different series come to mind, though, of ones that I want to reread. And the first one is the Bella Sarah series. I really love these books. I loved about 4 of them. I had 4 of them when I was younger, and I read them all the time. And yeah, I just love the world and just the aspect of it, the magical horses. I just love the entire thing, and I have the whole series now, so I can just binge read them all if I want to, and they're very, very short. It'd be easy to do. But yeah, I just really want to reread these. The other series is also a middle grade series, and this one's a lot longer. I have not even read the whole thing because there's 72 books in the series, plus several odd, like, special editions and stuff like that, and that is the Thoroughbred series. This is a series I kind of, well, yeah, I kind of grew up reading, not really grew up, but I was like I'm guessing I was like 12 or 13 when I started reading these, and I haven't stopped reading them. I still really enjoy them. Are they sometimes a little cheesy and dramatic? Yes. Is the writing always the greatest? Probably not to my standards now, but this is the series that made me that got me thinking of wanting to write my own books. And yeah, I just have always enjoyed it. Some of the books I don't like, as much as others, which is true, especially in a series this big with this many ghostwriters. It had like, I have no idea, because the main author, Joanna Campbell, she started it. She wrote like the first 14 books, I want to say, and then a couple of the special editions, and then the rest of the series kept jumping between multiple ghostwriters. I want to say there were at least 6 or 7 different ghostwriters, so sometimes characters change personalities and stuff like that between books, but for the most part they kept the spirit alive of the series, and they did a really good job. So yeah, I would eventually love to collect all the books I can find of this series and kind of just reread the whole thing, and especially also read the books I never got a chance to. So yeah, definitely another series. And there's others, the Phantom Stallion Wild Horse Island series, which I have the books, but the camera is currently sitting on top of them. But yeah, I would love to reread that series as well. And yeah, just a bunch of others. I would just love to reread a lot of my own books. So yeah, maybe I will make it not really a goal, but yeah, I'll just reread more of them. Okay. Fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Favorite cozy reading accessories? I don't really have any. If anything, if it's chilly enough, I might use a blanket. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm very boring. But yeah, definitely something comfortable to wear. So, like a sweater. This would work as a cozy thing. I wouldn't necessarily wear it because it depends on how hot I am. I run hot, so it's very hard for me to do cozy stuff because sometimes it's like I'm either really cold and freezing, and then I'll put too many clothing on. I'll put too much clothing on, and then I get overly hot, and it's a whole thing. My body is strange. Okay, Tag others. Let's see. I don't know who has done this tag that I follow. So I'm going to tag Lindsay from BFCG, Christy A. Cole, unless she's already done this. She might have already done this tag. If you have, I apologize. I don't remember. And who knows when I post this. Trying to think. I'm pretty sure probably most everybody that I follow has either done this or will have done this. So I'm just going to leave it at those two. Also, if you see this video and you have a channel yourself, feel free to consider yourself tagged and go ahead and do it on your channel. Also, if you don't have a channel but you want to answer the questions, they will be in the description below. Just copy and paste it in the comments and answer it there. I'd love to see your answers. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I love fall. It doesn't last long enough, especially in my neck of the woods, because, I mean, fall lasts longer than where I used to live, which that was like 2 weeks, and then it would get rainy and cold. But now where I live, fall does last a tiny bit longer, but winter's coming and the snow will be here and fall will be gone. Yeah, under 5 feet of snow. So, yeah, it's a fleeting time of year, but I really love it. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!